Hey creative friends. Well, last video we did not have much success on the foam core board, but today I am trying just fun foam is what a lot of people will call it, but it's just a very thin sheet of craft foam. This package came from Walmart and it's got several sheets in here. They're 4 by 6 inches. This one is very thin sheets, and so I am trying it first, and it looks like it's going to work just perfectly. So I've got a pattern. I may go ahead and share it below if you have any interest. I have a pattern I created in Inkscape of just some hexagons, and I'll try to share the SVG and a NC file that we can use just with a straight Neje software on a laptop. Bring it in as a CNC file. So anyway, so it did cut very nicely. It's kind of cute. All of them are still hanging just ever so slightly on the corner. But again, super thin foam. I did the blue first because I knew the dark color should work pretty well. And then I'm going to try these other colors too to see how well they'll work. This is the green that's currently running at the moment. But this file, let's see, I'll see if I can get some better light on the computer here, so hang on. So this file is running in the Neje desktop for a Windows PC, just using their standard software. And so whenever I bring it in, I brought it in as a CNC file, the first option for NC extension, and it brings it in. The file will be small, and so you'll have to resize it. So I ended up resizing it to 90 millimeters in width, and of course it will do the height accordingly for you. So I put in 90. It showed one number, and then whenever I hit OK, it came back and showed a different number, slightly different with the decimals, but this setting is working just fine. And if you can read that, I think it's 89.55 millimeters width times 127.95 millimeter in height. And I am currently, I did the blue piece at 20% laser with 10 ms milliseconds for burning time, and that worked just fine. It may have even been too high of a power, and it took about 4 minutes to finish. All right, let me adjust the light again. It's a cloudy day today, so let me get some more natural light in here. Okay, that's the brightest I'll be able to get it today. So this green just finished, and let's take a look at how it did. Oh, nice. Look at that. They all cut out perfectly. Nothing hanging on. So it looks like settings of 20% power, 10 milliseconds burning time are going to work just fine. And one thing I will mention about this foam, I think this term is called kerf, but if you'll notice, it's got a big kerf. So in other words, the material that gets cut away as you laser something. And so what I was hoping to do was to be able to take one piece and fill in the gap with another piece and make like a card. Of course, you could do whatever you want, but if we take extra pieces and put them in, they're not going to fit snug as I had hoped. But that's okay, because this is probably going to get mounted onto a card. But that would be kind of a cool effect. You could have like black cardstock that you glue it to, and then you'd have a nice black background, or you could use white. But that's going to be a challenge to get these things centered in here perfectly. But anyway, I will show you some final pictures and let you see what a few of them look like. All right, so both of these colors did beautifully. So the blue and the green, both at 20% and 10 ms. So let me try some of these other colors. One thing to note is this foam is very difficult to get it to lay flat. Be careful when you're handling it. It's kind of almost stretchy, but it can warp really easily as you're pulling it out of the packaging, since these sheets are so thin. But you'll notice that I had it laying flat, but as it went through and lasered, it buckled a little bit there. So just be careful with that. And it's fairly forgiving. I think since we've got it at a nice power, the 20% is able to get it for the most part. But yeah, I think that issue here is just because that was not laying flat. I've also noticed that every sheet, they're not perfectly sized. So just, I've made a mark on my board, and some of them were a bit smaller, maybe a millimeter or so smaller than other sheets. So and so this one, it has a few here where it is still hanging on that will have to be pushed out, as well as this blue color did the same thing. And it could be because of the lighter color, but I think it was more of the sheet just wasn't laying flat. But just with a real quick X-Acto knife, I think those pieces are going to come out just fine. So let's see, I've got 2 more colors to test. And here's the pink. This is probably the lightest color of all of them in this package. And I'm going to go ahead and just lift this up. If you leave it in place, you can send your laser around again to make sure it fully cuts. And as you can see, it started to buckle as the heat of the laser went around. But I don't think this one cut all the way through. But, you know, I kind of like that effect. So we can even engrave these very thin sheets as well. So if you just play around with the settings, you can engrave instead of cutting. So that's kind of a nice effect there. And it almost went through. Of course, I could punch this out very easily, but I just wanted to show you this particular sheet. One more. Okay, here is the last color, and that was a darker pink. So yeah, this one punched out nicely. Again, there were a few places that had buckled, but again, same settings for all of these. And I just love these colors. I don't know about you, but I'm so ready for spring. And so again, this is the one that didn't cut very well, as well as this one, but the rest of these cut nicely. A few that will have to be pushed out, but they should come out easily. And I just love these colors. This would be fun material to do some quick prototypes with that look nice, and then even finished products with all kinds of, you know, magnets or cards or can cozies, you know, whatever. And this foam does come in multiple thicknesses. So unfortunately the foam core just was too flammable, but it looks like this foam is going to be a little bit easier to laser, a little bit safer. So be very well ventilated. I am here in my garage with doors open, and so I can literally just step out while it's cutting and still keep an eye on it. But these are just so pretty. All these cool effects that you can get with layering the colors, like as an offset there, or you know, coming back and filling in the spaces with a different color. So all kinds of fun. And we had a good conversation with my kids. Do you like asymmetric or do you like symmetric designs? Personally, I'm not one to be very precise. You guys probably can tell from all my experiments, but I like asymmetrical. And so this one was almost too symmetrical for me, but you know, my kids prefer symmetrical, so they gave me some design guidelines. Anyway, just some fun. So thanks for watching, and again, if you have any interest in the files, they will be saved below. Let me know if you have any questions. The host that I used does not allow strange extensions on the file, so those NC files, I'm saving them as text, and you will have to download it and then change the extension back to NC, but hopefully that's not a problem. So but let me know if you have any other questions. And then also, if you have any interest in purchasing one of these lasers, I will include the affiliate link below as well. I appreciate those of you that have used that. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.